I'm going to just chime in for a minute here. So, for those of you that are familiar with editing, this is called a timeline. This is a lot of shit. Okay? This is half right here. This is half of the video from this line back. This is a lot of shit. It's a lot of music. It's a lot of sounds. It's a lot of effects. It's a lot of editing. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we got left. Now, I know that looks like a lot. That was about an hour's worth of audio turned into about 20 minutes. So, we got to cut through the second half of the second part recording. And once this entire fucking line of audio is edited, I can add in the sounds, I will add in the music, I will add in the photos, and oh hell, I'll add in the jump scares. But bear with me here. It takes a while. Sometimes it can get a little bit boring. We will get through this. As of right now, I don't see why we cannot have this finished by Halloween, if not sooner, if you guys are good. So, I say that, but you guys have been good for years. So, I'm going to start working on this. I don't know if I'll keep my mic on or not, but I might turn it off. I'm not going to play music because what you guys hear, I can hear. I'm not at that setup yet where I can just play music for you guys and then I can edit the video and then I can mute it so you guys don't get spoiled. But I will see about doing that in the future. My editor's not my editor, but my mod, he's on vacation right now, so clearly I don't have an editor. I am the editor. So I'm gonna get back to this. Feel free to talk in the comment section. I will be reading them. Maybe I'll chime in and talk or answer questions. And yeah, you guys can sit here, listen to the audio, and pick up on story elements, story beats, and we will get into it. Spoilers, just for those of you that want to wait for the complete story. There's a shit ton of them. Do not listen to this. It will ruin the story. And yeah, so keep that in mind, and we're ready to rock and roll. Is there any questions before we start from anyone in the comments before I get started? Because once I start, I'm probably not going to stop for a while. Try to keep going for at least an hour or two. And that should be all it takes, you'd think. But sometimes, man, I know there's a couple lines I like to go back and re-record, and that's ultimately the price I pay when I come to edit. I record, then I edit, and then I'm not happy with what I did. So, is there any questions, statements, any shout outs, any highs that want to be dropped before I start this? I don't want you guys to think I'm ignoring you. That's why I put the chat on the screen, so that way, even if the chat, because I got pissed off because the chats disappear. Sometimes they turn into comments, sometimes they don't, and the chats will disappear altogether. So I like to have the chat in the video, so that way we can look back and reflect and see the growth of how we got here together. So if no one's got anything to say, I'm going to start working on this. Happy Labor Day to everyone, and happy to any veterans that served for our country. I'm United States. Anyone that had grandparents or great grandparents that fought in the war, God bless you, and happy Labor Day. We're about to get this shit started. There's nothing labory about this, trust me. So, I'm going to go ahead and mute the mic. I'm going to drag this puppy down. You're going to see a lot of black screen. If anyone has any art they'd like to post to show on stream, if anyone has any stories that they would like to talk about feel free to. I love talking about the stories. I plan on the future. I'm picking out quite a few stories to show you guys to go check out because there's a lot of good stories out there now. There's so many fucking good stories. So, without any further ado, let's work on this really good story. All right. Wow, I just realized I clicked the I clicked my internet tab and all these fucking comments just popped up. I I don't know where they came from. I guess it's not updating on here. That's weird. I never had that issue. What does this say? Message retracted. Well, that's amazing. Uh, is it really true? Are you finally presenting us with what we have been waiting for? So again, this is editing. That's why it's called editing above the hell. It's not the complete story. We're so close to Halloween now that I figured that I would save it for around that time. But I would like to finish editing, amongst all the crazy stuff going on in my life. What does it say? I think this above the hell should be as good as Beyond the Hell and the other Disney creepypastas you did when it's ready. I really hope so. If Beyond the Hell was sort of a cliffhanger to a series that you guys were enjoying, this should be a good way of slipping you guys back into the universe. What does Manny say? I can't wait for Above the Hell. I've been waiting for years, buddy. Trust me. How much effort did you do on this? Oh, you don't want to know. I don't want to talk about it. Having flashbacks, PTSD. Happy Labor Day to you. Thank you so much, friend. Happy Labor Day. Thank you. Also, fat. I cannot say this word. I'm going to call you Synth Commando. I know you're in the Discord. I think you're in the Discord. Let me just check. Yeah, you are definitely in the Discord. Are you the one I've been talking to? Oh, I think I've talked to you before. You're a moderator. So if anyone comes in here and just starts like posting like random shit, N-words, or posting links to like porn sites, stuff like that, you know what you get in your messages sometimes on phone or whatever, advertisements. Please feel free to time them out, remove them, do whatever you'd like to do. You're kind of like a knight here, so be a knight. Do your job. If you don't want to, that's also fine. I'm sure I'll get to it eventually. So, yeah, thank you for being a mod and doing that. Plus, I enjoy Beyond the Hell and Return to Hell. What about Inside the Hell? Was that not good? Was that too emotional? All right. Now, I don't know if this is going to keep updating or not because it wasn't before, but hopefully it does, and you guys can have a little chat. Feel free to hop in the Discord. Creeper chat, feel free to hop in there and talk with each other on the Discord. I will not be joining that because I am live on here. If you guys would like to see me do this on a regular basis, join the Discord. I'm usually on there. Last couple times I have been on there, no one was there. That's completely fine. I just like to be there, so if anyone wants to drop in and watch, they can. So join the Discord and you can see this happen a lot more often. I only do it on YouTube so that way you guys can look back on it as we grow together and see the comments, obviously. It's just nice to see yourself in the video. That's the way I see it. So let's I like this because you guys can't see what I'm doing over here. You guys can't see the files. It's kind of scary, I could just pop something up like this, like I can do that. It's kind of a cheap, shitty jump scare. But okay, I'm gonna stop talking, and I'm gonna get back to doing this. Oh, it's not updating. Thank you. When I was younger, Gateway to Hell, man, it creeped me out quite a bit. Yeah, creeped me out too. I had nightmares about it. True story. True stories. All right, so let's get on with this. I'm gonna mute my mic, and we'll get editing here. Spoilers. Spoiler warning. Big fucking spoiler warning, okay? Just tune out now if you do not want to get spoiled. Okay, guys. Daisy had walked into a room. What she saw deeply disturbed her. Daisy, Daisy had walked. Daisy had walked into a room. A room. Daisy had walked in. Daisy had walked into a room. A room with a red light. A room. A room with a red light emitting the walls. Lining the walls.
Lining the walls.
Were the words. Were the words. Daisy, Daisy. Neuro words. Daisy, Daisy. The walls. Lining the walls. Were emitting the walls. Lining the walls were the words Daisy, Daisy. The lyrics to the song playing on the intercom. The lyrics to the song playing on the intercom. Although the words weren't written with ink or marker, no, they were red. Just as red as the light. Red as the light. Daisy knew what that was. Daisy knew what that was. It looked like a scene out of a slasher flick. It looked like a scene out of one of the movies that she saw when she didn't turn the TV off at night. It was blood. It was blood. The lyrics were written in blood all over the room. She kept hearing the word. She kept hearing her. Now they were red. Okay, I lied. I'm gonna add music because I kind of like the sound of the music to go with the scene. So we're gonna add music. Okay. Okay. Daisy had walked into a room with a red light emitting the walls. Lining the walls were the words Daisy, Daisy. The lyrics to the song playing on the intercom. Although the words weren't written with ink or marker, no, they were red. Just as red as the light. Daisy had walked into a room with lyrics to the song playing on the intercom. Daisy had walked into a room with a red light emitting the walls. Lining the walls were the words, Daisy, Daisy, the lyrics to the song playing on the intercom. Although the words weren't written with ink or marker, no, they were red. Just as red as the light. Daisy knew what that was. It was blood. As the light. Daisy knew what the light. Daisy knew what that was. It was blood. The light. Daisy knew what that was. It was blood. The lyrics were written in blood all over the room. She kept hearing the words in her head, over and over again. There was nothing she could do. It wouldn't get out of her head. She noticed that there was another entrance at the end of the room. She noticed that there was no door. She noticed that there was no doors at the end of the room. She noticed that there was no doors at the end of the room. Only a little crawl space. She noticed that there was no doors in this room, except for the one she had entered. She noticed that there was no doors in this room, except for the one she had entered. She collected herself. She collected herself. She collected herself. She collected herself. She collected herself and realized she needed to look for an exit. She collected herself and realized she needed to look for an exit. Somewhere to go. Because something was starting to catch up. Because she did not want to meet what was making the noises. She needed to find a way out. She needed to find a way out, and she needed to find it now. She looked around, feeling against the walls, seeing if there's any knobs, switches, pulleys, anything. She did notice one thing, though. There is anything. She did notice one thing, though. There was a little crawl space. There was a little spot about maybe 2 feet in width. Barely big enough for her to fit.
There was a little spot about maybe 2 feet in width.
Barely big enough for her to fit through. Kind of like a crawl space. Kind of like a chute. Kind of like a laundry chute. Used to have one of those back at their house. It made getting laundry way more simple. Daisy had no idea where this was going. For her to fit through. Daisy had no idea where this was going. And she was very scared. Of the thought. And she knew that it might have been a big drop.
So she avoided going through it.
There must have been another way. She thought.
There must have been another way.
There must have been another way, she thought. She barely even noticed the sound of the shackles. She barely even noticed the sound of the shackles grinding against the floor, right behind her. Right behind her. Daisy froze in fear. Daisy whipped behind her. Daisy turned around, looking at the doorway. Daisy turned around, looking at the doorway. She saw a figure standing there. Daisy Daisy froze in fear. Daisy turned around, looking at the doorway. Daisy froze in fear. She saw a figure. Daisy froze in fear. Daisy froze in fear. She saw a figure standing there. A tall figure. At this time the music had stopped. At this time the music had stopped. For some reason, she couldn't hear it anymore. At this time the music had stopped. For some reason, she couldn't hear it anymore. Music had stopped. She turned around and got greeted by a giant and seen a very tall, slender figure emitting barely from the light. The figure was holding a microphone. The music had stopped. The figure was holding a microphone. Turned around, looking at the doorway. Daisy froze in fear. She saw a figure standing there. A tall At this time, the music had stopped. Daisy turned around, looking at the doorway. Daisy froze in fear. She saw a figure standing there. A tall figure. The figure was holding a microphone.
In one hand.
In one hand. And in the other, some sort of object. And in the other, and in the other, and in the other, some sort of object. It must have been object. It must have been triple, no, quadruple the height of Daisy. Easy of Daisy. It wore a tall hat. Quadruple the height of Daisy. It wore a the height of Daisy. It wore a tall the height of Daisy. It wore a tall hat and stood kind of curved like a hunchback. Curved like a hunchback. No, hunchback. Like a hunchback. Like a hunchback. Like a hunchback. Like a hunchback. Daisy looked at it up and down. She could barely make out any details. Just that whatever it was tall.
And she was really hoping it was friendly.
It felt like a century she was looking at this thing. Until she broke the silence and said, it felt like a century she was looking at this thing. Until she broke the silence. It felt like a century she was looking at this thing. Until she broke the silence and said,
That's when she heard an all too familiar laugh.
Felt like a century she was looking at this thing. Until she broke the silence. Felt like a and said. That's when she heard an all too familiar laugh. And she realized who this was. Why she was here. Who she was supposed to meet. Why she was here. Who she was supposed to meet. It was just Oh, is that Nice joined the chat? Nice, are you there? If you're there, comment. You're gonna like this. You are definitely gonna like this part. Whoops. Let's get that out of there. Bro. Hold on, I gotta find the fucking thing. Oh, okay, there's that. I just gotta find the damn line. Okay, good, you're still here. That's very good. Hold on, let me restrict that. It was just then a flash of light came on, nearly blinding Daisy. But now everything in the room was clearly visible, blinding Daisy. But now everything in the room was clearly visible. The writing on the wall. 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 There was streaks. There was streaks. There was streaks of liquid below it. All the way down to the floor. All the way down to the floor. There was footprints on the ground. There was footprints on the ground. From the liquid. From the liquid. She had been walking in the liquid. She had been walking in it. But that wasn't the worst. But that wasn't the worst part. That wasn't the worst part. But that was not the worst part. But that was not the worst part. The worst part. The worst part was looking back. The worst part was the worst part. The worst part. Okay, let's space that shit up. The worst part. The worst part was looking back at what she presumed was Goofy. And seeing him for what and seeing him for what he really was. It was Goofy, and seeing him for what he really was. Goofy, and seeing him for what he really was. There were cuts Quadruple the height of Daisy. It wore a tall hat right behind her. At this time, the music had stopped. At this time, the music had stopped. Daisy turned around, looking at the doorway. Daisy froze in fear. She saw a figure standing there. A tall figure. The figure was holding a microphone in one hand, and in the other, some sort of object. It must have been triple, no, quadruple the height of Daisy. It wore a tall hat and stood kind of curved like a hunchback. It felt like a century she was looking at this thing. That's when she heard an all too familiar laugh, and she realized who this was, why she was here, who she was supposed to meet. It was just then a flash of light came on, nearly blinding Daisy. There were cuts and gouges throughout his body, missing chunks of skin, torn up clothes, and bloody pus stains littered him, and bloody pus-stained pus-stained
And bloody pus
stains, pus-stains, littered him, pus-stains, littered him, littered his clothes. He was holding a microphone. He was holding a microphone. He was holding a microphone in one hand. He was holding a microphone in one hand, and in another, a rusty knife. A rusty knife. A rusty blood-stained knife. A rusty knife. A rusty blood-stained knife. His nose didn't even appear. His nose didn't even appear to have any skin over it, although he did have a muzzle. This is probably the most horrifying feature. He stood there with this disturbing smile on his muzzle. He'd have a muzzle. He stood there with this disturbing smile on his face. She had no other choice. 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 Tears started to fall down her face as she looked upon what was her
favorite character, her best friend in some cases.
Only this wasn't her favorite character. This was not her best friend. This was a monster. This was something straight out of nightmares. This is something straight out of the nightmares that her uncle would describe. This is something straight out of the nightmares that her uncle would describe. That was when it lifted its microphone. That was when it lifted its microphone. That was when it lifted the microphone up. Daisy yelled at it. Goofy then started to sing. Goofy then started to sing. Goofy then opened its mouth and started to sing. Goofy then opened its mouth. The microphone up. Goofy then opened its mouth and started to sing. The microphone and started to sing that song. The smell of rotting meat Daisy, Daisy.
Daisy, give me your answer, do. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm high of crazy, yo, for the love of you. Be a star for the love of you. It
That was when it lifted the microphone up and started to sing.
Hey, 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 hazy, hazy, Daisy. Love you. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm high of crazy, yo, for the love of you. Love you. Love
The smell of rotting meat hit her face immediately. The smell of rotting meat hit Daisy immediately. Mixed with a song, she was completely petrified. Face. The smell of rotting meat hit her face immediately. The smell of rotting meat hit. The smell of. The, the, the smell of rotting meat hit Daisy immediately. Mixed with a song, she was completely petrified.
The smell of rotting meat hit Daisy
Immediately. Mixed with a song, she was completely petrified. tears rolling down her face, and her legs shivering. And her legs shivering. She had no idea what to do. Once, the demon Goofy started taking steps forward. The demon Goofy started taking steps forward, singing the song, never stopping, just continually singing, occasionally only stopping to start swinging the knife,
Singing the song, never stopping.
just continually singing, just continually singing, occasionally only stopping to start swinging the knife, He swung it so blindly that he literally cut himself. Occasionally only stopping to start swinging the knife. He swung it so blindly that he literally cut himself. You could hear the tearing of flesh as the knife went through his arm, through his knees. You could hear the flaps on the ground as he was walking. Giant, oversized shoes, bloodstained. Giant shoes. He was walking. Giant shoes. Giant shoe-stained bloods. Giant blood-stained shoe marks leaving behind him. Giant blood-stained shoe marks leaving behind him. He was only feet away from her. She had no idea what she wanted to do with him, but she had some good ideas. All she knew is she needed to get the fuck out of there. Right there. I can't say that. All she knew is she needed to get the heck out of there. Good ideas. All she knew is she needed to get the fuck out of there. Guys, I need help with this one. I don't want to do this a lot, but I need help with this. I'm gonna let you guys help me decide this one. Whoever's watching, get your comments ready. I need to keep it or replace it. Daisy's a little girl. She does not swear. She's tiny. However, the narrative of the story is being told by James. So he's kind of narrating this, kind of like watching it and narrating as it goes. So the question is, do we keep the fuck in there as emphasis right here? He was only feet away from her. She had no idea what she wanted to do with him, but she had some good ideas. All she knew is she needed to get the fuck out of there. Or do we keep it where where he says this? All she knew is she needed to get the heck out of there. So do we keep the emphasis on the fuck? All she knew is she needed to get the fuck out of there. So are we going with the swear word, or are we going without the swear word? That is the question I need an answer to right away. I'm going to give you guys a minute to decide this, but I really need some support here. So whoever's watching, please comment and let me know which one we should keep. It's going to be one or the other. You guys pick. Looks like we're gonna go with heck. All she knew is she needed to get the fuck out. All she knew is she needed to get the fuck out of there. All she knew is she needed to get the heck. All she knew is she needed to get the heck out of there. But she had some good ideas. All she knew is she needed to get the heck out of there. But she had some good ideas. She needed to get the heck out of there. All she knew is she needed to get the heck out of there. All she knew is she needed to get the heck out of there. God, you gotta love editing, right? Almost as if I recorded it like that. Thanks for the help, Synth. All she knew is she needed to get the hell out of there. All she knew is she needed to get the hell out of there. The hell out of there. The hell out of the hell out of the hell out of there. The hell out of there. The hell out of there. She needed to get the hell out of there. I think we're gonna go with hell. I feel like that's something James would say. We're gonna go with hell. It's not fuck. It's not heck. It's not too cheesy. It's not too dumbed down. It's kind of in the middle. I think it's perfect for the scene. She needed to get the hell out of there. She needed to get the hell out of there. Right there. She almost heard her dad. She almost heard her dad's voice. She almost heard her dad's voice. Almost as if her dad was there with her. Almost as if her dad was there with her. She heard his voice. Tell her. Telling her. Daisy. Daisy, you have to move. Turn around and go down the chute. Daisy, you have to move. Turn around and go down the chute. You have to move. You have to move. Daisy snapped back. As she turned around. As she started backing away from the demon. Daisy snapped back. As she turned around. As she started backing away from the demon. She whipped around and seen the chute. She ran up to it, pulled it back. She ran up to it, pulled it back, looked over, and saw that the demon was starting to laugh. An uncontrollable laughter coming from it. The sound of the shackles grinding the floor, getting closer and closer. He was a mere feet from her. She looked down, seeing the darkness. It wasn't that inviting. It wasn't that inviting. It wasn't that inviting. It wasn't that inviting. But nor was the thing in the corner of the room coming closer and closer to her. All at once, she took a deep breath. And she hopped in the chute. started sliding down. It felt like a mere matter of seconds before she landed. She started sliding down. It felt like a sliding down. It felt like a mere matter of seconds before she landed. The chute being cold to the touch. Luckily nothing happened. No snags, no injuries. She just fit perfectly. And she landed. But on what? And she landed. But on what? She landed in a trough. She landed in a trough. Daisy landed in a trough. Daisy landed in a trough. Daisy landed inside of a Daisy had landed inside of a wheelbarrow. Daisy had landed inside of a wheelbarrow. A wheelbarrow full of books. A wheelbarrow full of books. She wasn't hurt that bad. In fact, it wasn't that big of a drop.
Which made her nervous that maybe she didn't truly get away.
Although there was no music playing. She looked around.
She noticed she was inside of a room. A room that reminded her of...
Inside of a room. A room that reminded her of the lab that... A room that reminded
her of...
the lab that the man was in. Only it was a lot darker and a lot dirtier. She got up out of the wagon, turned around and looked at the books that she landed on. They weren't really books, more like just leatherback entries, I think. They weren't really books, more like just leatherback entries, I think. Sort of like notes. They weren't really books, more like just leatherback entries. Sort of like notes. Sort of like notes. Like a diary. But there was a bunch of them. A lot of them covered in cobwebs. A lot of them covered in cobwebs. But it was overfilling, which probably helped break the fall more. She picked one up and opened it. She picked one up. Fucking truck. Wait for this fucking truck. Take your sweet time, Bubba. I think that's everything. I think that's all the audio. I think I got one more to do, but that's all the audio I got on this device right now. I had to get the rest of it, but yeah, that's it's almost done. I just gotta edit it and get the videos for it and whatnot. Then after that, just gotta edit the last part. Let's read some of these comments. Oh, synth had to go away for a minute. Base Onova Lobrick, Lobrick. I think I pronounced it right. Sorry if I didn't. Is there an option to donate? No, I don't. I don't want to provide that until I can prove that I'm more reliable with videos. If I was doing videos every month, at least even a month, yeah, I would set up a donation thing to help fund the projects. But the way that it's been going, I don't want to do that to you guys, where you guys give me money and I can't keep up my end of the bargain. So no, I took the advertisements off of all the videos on this channel. I think I did. At least the ones that it doesn't force me to put them on. And I made them completely adless so that you guys can enjoy them in their full glory. So maybe one day we can set up the donation thing, but as of right now, I don't want to do that because I don't feel like it's fair. I'm going to keep working on this video and to finish it and have it tie into the next story, Buried in Hell. And I'm going to make sure it's a hell of a story for you guys. So when I'm done with this video, this story, I'm going to move on to the next one right away, hopefully. And I will continue Frederick's story and Daisy's, and after that we can finally move on to the project that's been in the works for about 7 to 8 years now, and that is building the hell. Now, to understand what's going on with things, you have to go back to the beginning. And once we get Buried in Hell finished, we can work on building the hell. And then once building the hell is out and complete, I think it's finally time to escape the hell. Or rather, escape from hell. So, with that in the books, I'm probably going to be ending the stream soon. Like I said, the video is for the most part finished. These streams have helped out a lot. Your guys' support, your guys' comments, whether it's positive, negative, hurtful, or heartfelt, it don't matter. It all helps. Constructive criticism is not a bad thing in my books. So I will definitely look into that. I sure hope it's amazing. I really do. It's gotta be. This much time in between videos, gotta be. So, when this video's done, and I mean when it's fucking done, I'm going to let you guys know about it about a week ahead of time. Maybe 2 weeks. And then I will post the official time it's going to drop. And I will, well, rather the day. I don't think I'll give an exact time, but I will try to tell you, based on my time zone and whatnot. But if I have the video, I don't see why I couldn't upload it early in the morning so you guys can get the most of it. So when this is done, I'll have it go live, and hopefully, based on the conclusion of this video, I will start right away with Buried and hopefully get through that. And then that can come out even sooner it's definitely gonna come out a lot sooner than the time in between Beyond and Above the Hell are. It is not gonna happen again. So you're gonna get the next story probably way, way, way sooner than you waited for Above, and then we can go back in time, do Buried, and then we can finish the series off with Escape from Hell. So that's the plans. That's the roadmap. I don't have any specific dates, but we'll get there when we get there. Fan art's always welcome, so feel free to always leave some. If you have any, credits will entirely go to you. Feel free to put this stuff on when you're driving or trying to go to bed. Earpods, AirPods, headphones, whatever you want to call it, are the best way to listen to my stories and my content. I'm gonna step away from the shebang for a second to give you guys a second to ask any questions and to clarify anything. So by all means, right now would be the time to talk. Go ahead, ask questions, say what you gotta say. If you have something cool you want to tell me, something completely unrelated, go for it. It's a-okay. I'm more than happy to hear from you guys. I'm always excited to see how you guys grow. Just like I'm sure you guys are excited to see how the video's coming. So, go ahead. I'll give you guys a minute, and if no one comments, that's a-okay. On the stream, and I'll say goodnight. So I am fucking exhausted. Okay, I'm gonna assume that that's it then. Um, this video again will probably either become private or be deleted. It all depends on because spoilers, and I don't want people to find out too soon. Wasn't there already a Buried in Hell in September last year, or is the story a two-parter or something? So, Buried in Hell, when I did that live stream, I took a chance, and that chance was to essentially kind of do a story live, like as I was speaking, like I do when I record it, but this time, given the fact that it's actually live and not just me recording the lines. I don't write scripts. I don't believe in that. I believe the best talent comes out raw. So that was kind of like a part of it. I plan on taking the audio from that, re-recording it, and making a full-on story of it. So I think it's gonna turn out great. We're gonna get into some more creepy stuff there, so just keep in mind that it's gonna go Above, Buried, Building, and Escape. That's how it's gonna go. So it's gonna be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 parts, I believe, in total, unless I'm too tired to count. So that's Gateway, Return, Inside, Beyond, Above, Buried, Building, and Escape. That's what we got, guys. 8-part installment. God, I could only imagine putting all that shit into one video and watching a 6-hour story unfold. Something like that, multiple hours. That's going to be crazy. Maybe we can do that, and that'll be a special video on its own. But anyways, guys. Oh no, you're okay there, Synth. I want to thank you guys for sticking around. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys for your time, support, and as always, for remembering me. That is the coolest thing about this is you guys remember. So, sorry about the long wait. Sorry about the broken promises and the missed opportunities. But I'm trying. I'm trying to balance this in between my busy life. I hope you guys can see that. I apologize for my past mistakes, and hopefully, those of you that have left come back, and those of you that have been waiting and stayed loyal will feel the reward here soon. So we'll get these stories done, and then we'll maybe work on some other stories too in between the chapters here. Just add suspense. You don't want to release everything at once. That'd be stupid. Space it out a little bit. Clearly not as long as the last one, but maybe a year. I think that'd be a good amount of time. Wait a year for the next chapter. That would be pretty good. Good night, bro. 7. Get some rest. I deserve it. I don't know if I deserve it. There's people in this world suffering and whatnot. And I definitely don't deserve as much as they do. But I will get some sleep and do what I gotta do. Good luck with you guys trying to get some sleep after listening to that. Dude, the Demon Goofy. I cannot believe we're here. We got Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Pinocchio, and Alice. And I think you guys are gonna be interested in what we get next here. I think we might have to. I think we might have to go into the story of Alice here shortly. Hint, hint. So, anyways, as always, you guys creep on and stay creepy. This is Bro7 signing out. Have a good one.